bonjour, good evening. Welcome back to the Redmen TV. Liverpool, in typical Liverpool fashion, have just booked themselves a ticket to this year's UEFA Champions League final by beating Villarreal 3-2 away. And now, that might sound like it was a topsy-turvy game. It wasn't. It was literally a game of two halves. First things first, you've got to give a lot of credit to Villarreal because they was absolutely brilliant in that first half. They put up a valiant performance. But this show is all about your thoughts, your reactions, and your feelings. How you're feeling now. What are your arrangements going to be for Paris? I want to know them all in the comments in the chat. We'll be jumping into the YouTube members' comments. We'll be jumping over to Discord for the members' chats as well. And we'll be going over to have a little look at Twitter. So let me know now, and I'll read out some of the best comments that we come across. But again, thank you for sticking around for the watch-along, and thank you for catching up with all the post-match content as well. Let's kick things off then. Kieran Orr says, what a result. Fair play to Villarreal for taking it to us, but that turnaround is the greatest show of this team's mentality resolve we've seen all season. Another final, 3 for the season, up the Reds. Also, what a great watch-along. You and Pajak were fantastic, even when the result wasn't going our way. Yeah, it's in terms of the game, the fact that we're going to our third final this season. It just goes back to those interviews that players, I think it was Robbo or Trent, and he said, we want to end up winning that much that we forget what we won each season. And in order to do that, you've got to qualify yourselves to these finals and these big occasions. And this team as a whole have got so much experience from doing that in past seasons. But again, we'll be able to take that into 2 finals at the end of this season. Now, we are going to be kicking the last ball of the season, guaranteed, no matter what happens. And that is fucking a massive improvement from where the squad was this time last year. Not only in terms of the personnel, but in terms of the achievements and the distance that we're going as well. So thank you very much for that, Kieran. And the Red Guy 8 says, my God, I was utterly disgusted with the first half, but what a turnaround. We can be kicked to the floor, but when we never stayed down. 3 finals in 4 seasons is stuff of legends. You never walk alone. Yeah, 3 Champions League finals in 4 years is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I know Real Madrid went on to win 3 after 3, but look at their record in that competition. They are the all-time GOATs of the Champions League. But when it comes to this country's legends, whatever, we're the black sheep. You can't write us off. We are royalty when it comes to the Champions League. And again, we've just shown our credentials once more. And, I think Real Madrid team and players watching this tonight, same for City players and team, will be thinking, fucking hell. They would have been hoping at half-time that we'd have slipped on a banana skin, a big yellow-shaped banana skin, but we avoided it, and we did it with a little bit of style as well. Sabin says, never in doubt, Villarreal were clearly running on empty after that first half. Once we scored, it was inevitable. Brian Glow, the Reds are going to Paris. Truly was a game of 2 halves, but in the end, our quality was too much for them to handle. This is such a special season. Up the Reds. And up Pajak and Errol, 100% win rate. Yes, 100% win rate, me and Pajak. That was a fantastic team. I had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, thank you very much for everyone that stuck around and watched the watch along today. It was really, really good to see. Sabin says, honestly, as much as everyone seems to love Villarreal, I find their naive overconfidence pathetic. The disappointment on the players and faces was fun, and fans' faces, as if you actually believe you're going to knock us out, meh. Mate, to be fair, they had us on the ropes in that first half. Like, I'm not even going to bullshit you. I was very nervous, and I think my comment at half time was the next goal is going to be absolutely massive, because if they would have got it, they would have just literally just dropped into their shape and would have basically had 11 men behind the ball and said, go on, then you've got 40 odd minutes, whatever, plus to break us down, and we're going to be so resilient, it's going to be unbelievable. And they would have fought tooth and nail and given everything, and they had nothing to lose at that point. So I do feel, yeah, they might have been a little bit overconfident, but they earned their right to, because Liverpool were a shadow of themselves in that first half, and they played us off the park. We're going to Paris. Yep, says Swaz Lynch. Bentley 92, we're going to Paris with loads of love hearts. We've got, and yeah, we've conquered all of Europe. We're never going to stop. We're off to Gay Paris. I fucking love this club. Yeah, Bentley 92 says absolutely buzzing. Dickie Oi Red _07 says champagne, cheese and Clart at the final in Paris. Yeah, absolutely. I hope you get it all, mate. And then I hope you take the trophy home as well with us. That's the plan. Al Disley says, I was flying my drone over the Mersey capturing some ships when I looked at my live score and nearly ditched the bugger in the drink. I was fed up the second half. What a performance. Philly Roach, 3-5, I think. It's a good record. Veronica, this comeback team do it again. I'm so glad that Jurgen is a red. The red guy 8. What would you rather face, Man City or Real Madrid? Honestly, I don't like the prospect of all English finals because you can only enjoy an all English final if you're the winner. So that 90 minutes in the build-up to is not an enjoyable experience. I think you can kind of get lost in the romanticized way that you can spin, a continental battle between England and Spain, and the Spanish club with the most history in the competition versus the English club with the most history. The fact that Liverpool over Madrid won potentially kind of as hallmarks of Liverpool and AC Milan. We win the first one, they win the second one. That type of tee-off between the two teams. And I just think that's more of a mouth-watering prospect. And I just don't... Again, the idea of City have never won a Champions League. The idea that they win their first one against us, considering our history and prestige with that competition, I feel like that would add something to them that they've never been able to accomplish. So I don't want them to get there. So my thoughts going toward Real Madrid tomorrow, I will be firmly in their camp. Mike Andrew says, I want Madrid revenge. Yep. Mo deserves it as well. 6 from 6 this Champions League campaign. Let's make it 7 out of 7. Can't wait to see the matchday vlog. I bet it was a roller coaster in that away end. That decorates Forum UK. The red guy 8 says the Liverpool and Man City final. If City win, we'll never hear the end of it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go over to Twitter then and see what the guys and girls over on Twitter are saying. We've got Dean Foley there, and he says, after all the rage I felt in that first half, I'm currently calming myself down. You've got to start Diaz in that final. Completely changed the game, and I'm sorry for everyone for my pessimism. Yeah, you wasn't the only one. I think it was, we was calling out for what it was. It wasn't good enough. Jurgen probably would have told them that in one way or another. It wasn't a good enough performance, and if we continue to perform like that, you could forget the quad. You could forget the Champions League final, and it would have been a really disappointing, it would have been a real kick in the teeth at this point in the season because everything's riding on this momentum wave now. Think of the adulation, think of the adrenaline, think of the momentum that we've achieved and built up by getting it across the line, and especially in the fashion that we did. So you wasn't being, you might have been pessimist, but I think the overview from the Reds across the board, social media, in the studio, the chats that were popping off was that we was embarrassing ourselves. We needed to do better. Adam, man, like Adam LFC 1892, how you doing, fella? I hope you're doing well, keeping well. Thank you for joining us again for another show. He says, I don't know what everyone was worried about. I knew we would win. Wink. He says, nah, but listen, I'll always say this till the day I die. Liverpool never win the easy way. I love this club and I love Redmen TV. Paris, here we come. Yeah, absolutely, man. I did say that to Pajak as well at one point. I was like, mate, we don't do things the easy way, but we get the job done. And I expected us to get the job done, and we did. Yardy on Twitter says, now we know why the phrase "a game of two halves" was invented. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. It really was. People say it's a cliche, but you look at that game and it was a Jekyll and Hyde performance. It was complete polar opposites of each other. It was a bit of a bipolar performance from Liverpool, if I'm honest. But we got our shit together when it mattered most. Norwegian Viking says, absolutely beautiful scenes at the stadium after the game. Both Liverpool and Villarreal players thanking both sets of fans for an incredible evening. Do you know what? I'll have to catch up on some of that because obviously I jumped straight onto this show. So I will catch up on the extended highlights and listen to some of the post-match content that BT have probably put on at some point when I get round to wrapping up. Don't forget though, after I do this show, it's not Steve for the change. It is going to be Chris. Chris will be over at the board. He will be going through his player ratings. And again, I feel like if it was me, I'd be doing the show in two halves. Again, it would be ratings for the first half and ratings for the second half. I don't know how Chris plans to do it, but he has got a real task on his hands. He's going to need help with the man of the match, and he's going to need help from you guys in the comments as well. So make sure you stick around, get over there, and give some thoughts into consideration for the player of the game, man of the match, and also what you would rate some of the players' performances. After that as well, we will be jumping over to Redmen Plus, and we'll be doing our instant match reaction. We'll probably delve into it. It'll probably be a little bit longer than typical ones that we do, because obviously we're going to a final. We've got so much to talk about. The energy in the studio tonight has been absolutely electric, and the fact that, you know, we had over 4,000 of you watching at one point really added to that. The community that you guys are building in these watch-alongs week in, week out is phenomenal. So thank you very much. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope that if you haven't already popped up onto the Redmen Plus, if it's not already on your radar, where have you been? Get onto it, log in, sign up now, because there's going to be plenty. We're in 2 more finals before the end of the season, and the league's going down to the wire. Sign up. I'll head over to YouTube in a sec. Let me just finish off these ones over on Twitter. We've got well done Villarreal. They was magnificent in the first half. That was Michael Garud. And then Paul Brown says, given what happened in the first half, that was arguably the most powerful 45 minutes we've played all season. The stakes were so high, expectations even higher, and it looked like we'd crumbled, but not this team. Hashtag never give up, you never walk alone. I'm so glad. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then finally, just before we wrap up on Twitter, Henry York says, I've said it before and I'll say it again, in a team full of world-class players who could be number 1 on the team sheet, there is nobody that makes it on the team sheet in front of Fabinho. For me, he is the key to everything. Yeah, Fabinho in the second half, absolutely. He stood up and was countered, and he made a really good contribution in obviously getting us back in the game with that first goal and kind of set us on our way. Everybody had a little bit of belief, and you could kind of see from that point that Villarreal's race was almost run, and he didn't have what it takes to kind of hit back after that. The super chat, Stuart Armstrong, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate. I appreciate it. Luis Diaz, that's it, my word, what a phenom we have in him. He's a cheat code, and Villarreal, unfortunately, the PlayStation that second half, yeah, it was like old school Tony Hawk's back in the day. You just throw in a couple of command cheats and then boom, you're off to the races. You've got every trick in the book, and there's nothing that the computer can do to stop you. It was ridiculously, it was night and day, the performances from us, but the fact that we can rely on this bench, the fact that Jurgen Klopp knows what he needs to do. We was all in the studio and ahhing, do we have 2-3 substitutions? Does Hendo need to come on? Do we need to change something in midfield? Do we need to take Mane as well off and get Origi? People were saying it was Origi time after 50 minutes. Jurgen knew we just need one change and we need to get a grip of this game, and we will be all right. We will work it out between the lads that are already on the pitch, and they delivered. So absolutely, and the fact that Luis Diaz, he stepped up and he turns on, he's electric, he's unpredictable, he's got that air of unpredictability about him. He was phenomenal. So yeah, let's see what the live chat over in Discord is saying as well. I think a few people there have been at me. Louis A says, we never make it easy, but we wouldn't have it any other way, though. Paris, here we come, baby. We've got Tony Blakeway. The slap down on the Manc trolls was epic. Nicely done, sir. Noticed they didn't take you up on the offer to be here at full time. Yes, my man, I noticed that. We did say at half time, yo, make sure you come back with the same energy at 90 minutes, because we will be here no matter which way the wind blows. And we was there. They didn't have the same energy for it. So yeah, I'm glad they kind of nicely signed out. And yeah, get out. Doubters to believers, Ape says, Quadbot, I was nearly a doubter at half time. I was ashamed of myself. My legends carried me through, and I don't think I'll calm down for a while. I love this club. Dad says, the mentality monsters arrived late, but they arrived. The upside of that first half is the result will have melted the heads of our rivals. Yeah, just when you thought you could get at this Liverpool team, just when you thought if you can put your foot on the neck, they might tap out in submission, this team gets back up and says, no, I'm not having it. Not having it at all. Who else have we got? I'd like to think that the rest of the team gave Diaz a standing ovation in the dressing room. Yeah, he did change everything. Dino says, this team has shown how far they've come from that performance. 45 minutes is all we need to turn a result round. Up the Reds, we are going to Paris. I said that, mate, and I think that's a great point, because the one thing we couldn't afford was extra time. Not at this late stage in the season, not with everything that's riding in the Prem, and the focus and the legs and the energy and the travel and all those things. We needed to turn it around in 45 minutes. That's all we had. We had 45 minutes to save our season, and this team pulled it out the bag, and you've got to be proud. You've got to love it. Barry K says, it's boss being a Red. Love those boys. Damo says, what do you think was said at half-time? Diaz is on our best front three now. He definitely is in our best front three. But Aida comes back and says, if Sadio plays central, Diaz is easily our best left forward. Yeah, I think Jurgen pretty much just ripped into them. I think Chris was spot on when he said that. Laid into them, because we can't have the season we've had and then capitulate in 45 minutes and ultimately unravel all the good work that we've done, all the other games that we've accomplished. Yeah, you might go to an FA Cup final. Yet the league could still go either way, but this is the pinnacle. The Champions League is the pinnacle of world club football, and we want our name in the hat. We want to be there in the occasion. We want to be part of that ceremony. And Jurgen Klopp managed to do it again. He galvanised his team. He gave them another rousing speech that made them level up, and we actually turned up in the second half. So thank God for that. Conor Murphy says, Diaz, for me, had a Gerrard effect when he came on. He was unbelievable when he came on, mate, and I'm glad that everybody's mentioning him, because he really was. He turned up and he had just stardust everywhere, every touch. The fact that the players didn't want to stand up with him, the fact that the defenders were shocked, they didn't know what to do when he was running at them. It just emphasised how important he can be to us, and the fact that when we wasn't confident, the team as a unit weren't confident, but what we did notice very early on was we weren't confident as a team, but we'll give this ball to a new lad that's full of confidence and let's see what he can do with the ball. And as soon as he started making things happen, that confidence then bled into the rest of the team. They felt the energy. They started to get involved. They started running the show. Naby got back involved. Thiago started having a better game. The front three started to link up and make things stick between themselves, which was a massive improvement. And now, as you say, the rest is history. Liverpool again have etched their name into the history books 3 times in the last 4 years under Jurgen Klopp's management. And we are going to Paris. Pack your bags, book your flights, book your hotels, whatever it is you have to do. Get yourselves there in May, because Liverpool are going to be going to the Champions League. We are hunting down number 7. We are hunting down the quad still. We've got so much content for you coming over the next couple of weeks. Make sure you stay tuned. And furthermore, make sure you stay tuned for all the post-match content tonight, because it is going to be lit, let me tell you. All right, guys, I'm going to sign out because I know Payjack is dying to start doing his player ratings, and I will be back very soon. Take care. Wow.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If you would like to, check out redmenplus.com, our Liverpool streaming service and bonus content site that gives you more Redmen TV studio shows and documentaries, features and interviews, as well as a whole lot of podcast content as well. Head to redmenplus.com by clicking the button, go and subscribe, and yeah, fill your boots on amazing Liverpool content.